You saw his jet explode. What if he was abducted in that moment, brought to the Green Lantern Corps, and it's across the galaxy, and then he is brought back?
So maybe he's not completely the Steve that she remembers.
He just jumped out of the plane, moved to Los Angeles, and that's why he hasn't aged a day.
Are you talking about Philip Molina or?
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Marina Mastros, and Philip is actually on a father-son camping trip with Tommy today.
Oh, about time.
About time they got into the woods and
Good for
just had
them.
some good bonding
Who's
time.
the dad?
Philip is the dad.
Okay.
I thought there was a
Tommy is the
third
son.
party who was a dad.
Yeah, they actually just brought another dad who was camping randomly, and they just go with him. And this is Rogue Theory, guys.
Wow.
Yes, today we're talking about Wonder Woman 1984, the trailer, and how the hell Steve Trevor is still alive, right? Today we have Erik Voss, who's always
Hi.
here. He's great. He's back again.
I'm
we
back.
have Danny Prikazsky,
Hello.
who's here sometimes, and Leo Garcia.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, great. It's an all-boy panel, but ruled by a lady queen. So we're going to do it today. On this episode, we're going to talk about the Millennium Clock on the Watchmen, right?
Okay.
Last episode is coming up.
Stick around.
And how it's going to impact the finale of the show. But first, we're talking about Wonder Woman, the 1984 trailer. Yes.
Yes.
And guys, how is Steve Trevor alive? How is he still alive?
No idea.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for coming. This
Mystery.
has
Bye,
been New
everyone.
Rockstars.
I
This is
feel
Rogue Theory.
like, how is he still alive, and is he still alive?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes. And is it Steve Trevor?
Is it Treve Sever?
Is it 1984 or 85?
Yeah. Who's to
Let's
say?
question all of
Is
our
this a
realities.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah, great. All
Why
right,
are we
so
alive?
give me your best reasons for why he's alive and how. Who is he? Is he a ghost?
Okay.
What's going on?
Do you
wanna
want
go?
I can go.
Take it away.
All right. So there are several villains in this
Okay,
movie.
yeah.
You have Kristen Wiig is portraying Cheetah. But there's also Max Lord, which if there ever was a old comic book villain name,
Yeah, really.
it would be Max Lord. And I think part of the reason that Steve could show up in this movie is that maybe there's some deal that there's deities in these
Yeah.
worlds.
Yeah.
There perhaps could be a deal that Wonder Woman has to make with Max Lord and some of the deities to like bring him back.
Ooh.
Bring him back to life, but as you see in the trailer, he looks sort of like lost and confused.
Yeah,
yeah.
Perhaps
sure.
in a very like bedazzled way, whether you're talking about the Peter Cook and Dudley Moore version or the Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser version.
The better, the superior. of the
Yeah,
two.
the superior is the
Yeah,
Elizabeth
yeah.
Hurley, Brendan Fraser version. That maybe when you ask for something like that, wish fulfillment, you don't get everything you really want. So maybe
Right.
he's not completely the Steve that she remembers.
Aw.
But yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking it could be.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that it's,
How is he different? Like, what's he missing?
like the left part of his brain,
Yeah, there you go.
and that's why he doesn't understand the fashions of the time.
Right,
And
yeah.
so like we were talking before about whether it's Zubaz pants, Z
Yeah.
Cavaricci's, he doesn't know how to Wang Chung. You know, all these things.
Does anybody really understand the fashion of the 80s?
I don't think so. Maybe he has it all, and it's really everyone else that's missing half of their
Yeah,
brain.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally possible. Let's see. I'm going to give you a Rogie for starting things off in a way that I understand.
Great. I like a
Great.
Rogie just for initiative.
Yeah. Well, you beat out Erik, so.
Oh, yeah, just by speed alone. Well, my theory, I think one interesting thing about the first Wonder Woman movie that I really liked, but people were kind of griping that they wanted Steve Trevor's character to be revealed to be Hal Jordan, to tie in the Green Lantern Corps to the DC universe. He was not. He was just
Yeah,
a
he's just
pilot
a guy.
from the past. But what if the reason we are seeing Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman 1984, maybe Steve Trevor is Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Now he is, yeah.
And when he died in the plane crash in the
Okay,
first Wonder
okay.
Woman movie, you saw his jet explode. What if he was abducted in that moment, brought to the Green Lantern Corps,
Yeah.
and it's across the galaxy, and then he is brought back
Wow.
to be like her kind of friend, but he's still a man out of time. He's still left in
Yeah, fish out of water,
1917,
yeah.
whatever that was.
Yeah.
And he's still the same guy, but it's kind of like Flight of the Navigator, right? You're on the other side of the galaxy. You spend all this time due to the laws of space-time and the way
Yeah.
our bodies age. He's brought back to the year 1984.
A bunch of knowledge is downloaded into his brain.
Yes. And Chris Pine's a verifiable superhero, if you ever ask me. That guy,
That is-
oof, you
it
could
is
cut
true.
a diamond on that chin. a handsome fella, and he would be a perfect Green Lantern. I think, like, I agree with all the fans. Like, he's funny. He's a pilot.
Yeah.
In the movie, like,
Yeah.
he's perfect for the role. So this is the way you could backdoor him into, because we know they have a Green Lantern Corps project in development at Warner. They want to make this into a thing. Why not just use Chris Pine as the guy who's going to do it?
That's great. And also, like, I like doing it now because if he had also been revealed to be a superhero in the first Wonder Woman, then that kind of steals Wonder Woman's thunder.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh,
it's
yeah.
like, this whole thing is like, she finally gets a movie. Like, this is about her. And then, like, we throw in another superhero dude. Like, let her have her movie. But I think now is, like, a great time to do it because it's like, great. She also gets a better golden suit, so she still has her.
And they can exist separately, and it's worth noting that, like, they told us that Chris Pine was coming back in this movie way early. Like, the initial set photos were of, like, Gal Gadot in her new costume, not
Steve,
the new.
Steve in a members only jacket.
Steve in members only with a fanny pack in the mall. Like, they're like, why aren't they hiding this? This seems like a huge twist. So I think there's another huge, like, fan servicey twist that they got.
I love coming on the show and me saying something stupid, and then Erik says something that could essentially, like, that is probably what's going to happen. Like, legitimately.
But you have to allow yourself to be stupid and say things like time is a flat circle and Baby Yoda equals Yoda, and that Kylo Ren is reincarnated Maul. And then sometimes you get these.
Yeah, most of the time Eric's real dumb, but sometimes he's real smart and he gets 2 rogues.
2! Whoa, that's a lot of rogues.
2
rogues.
There you
go.
Man,
Danny?
doling these rogues out.
Careful, I'm
right.
close enough to reach yours.
I'm just gonna go for it. I got a lot of theories on this. One, he's a cocaine nightmare. 2, he just jumped out of the plane, moved to Los Angeles, and that's why he hasn't aged a day.
Are you talking about Philip Molina? Or he has never done cocaine. I've tested it.
Oh, God. Oh, good.
Regular drug test at New Rockstars.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go.
Sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
3, he's a hologram, but I won't go into that one.
Well, no, go into
a
hologram,
hologram.
please.
So the song in the trailer is Blue Monday by New Order.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that song was ripped off. That was from another. That was taken from another song called Jerry and the Holograms, and so that's it. Like, obviously, Diana is able to interact with things that are intangible. From, like, flinging her lasso on the lightning. It's a bad theory, but it is a theory.
It's a rogue theory.
It's a very rogue
That's
theory,
right.
and I expect to get 4 roguies because I'm going to give you a 4th and final theory that's actually decent, and it kind of ties into Eric's with the abduction. But in my theory, it is not abduction by an alien race, but an abduction by one of the gods from Diana's pantheon. I think that, like, a lot of the gods, if not all the gods, were killed by Ares in the backstory to the original Wonder Woman. But I think maybe Zeus survived, or at least there's a large Greek pantheon, so there could be some, like, lesser god involved. That
there's
sort
some
of,
like, extended cousins that Ares didn't think to check off.
Yeah, exactly. Like Pan or something. And Pan's like, Diana's really going to need Steve for this one. So let me just pull him out and pop him back when we need him in the 1980s.
That's great.
Interesting. Or, like, is Hera his wife? Or who's the goddess of love?
That's Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Ooh,
but if you think, like, the goddess
Aphrodite.
of love, bring back his loved one
sweet.
to... But that's kind of...
And that would also make sense for why he seems confused about everything, because he's a man at a time. From 1917 to 1984.
God, I loved that one part of the trailer where she's like, all of this is art, and he's like, oh, cool. And she's that's a trash can. Yeah.
There's some trash can engineer who's like, you know what? It is.
Yeah. Oh, single tier. The guy who designed that trash can
it's a
is
Native
like
American picking up garbage.
Oh my God.
All you gotta do is duct tape it onto a wall in Miami.
Yeah,
really.
God. Danny, you don't get 4, but you do get 2.
Yeah.
There you go, bud. Great, guys. Tell me how many rogues you have.
I have 1.
Oh.
Knocked it on my hand. Mostly because I went first, not because of my theory itself.
That's true.
I'm in the 2 roguie club over here.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 roguies over here too.
All right. Great. Let's take a small break to thank our sponsors.
Hey guys, Erik here. Just another reminder, if you want early access to all of our Star Wars content, of which we are doing so much, breakdowns of episodes of The Mandalorian on Disney+, an in-depth rewatch series of the classic Star Wars films, original trilogy and prequels, prequels, and of course, all the news you need to know about The Rise of Skywalker, you're really going to want to subscribe to our podcast feed, Wookiee Leaks. I know, we're kind of proud of the name. That way, you'll be the first to be alerted when new Star Wars information comes out from us, and you'll be able to consume this content while you're doing other stuff, like driving, working out, cooking, or realistically, I know what you're doing with your time, practicing your lightsaber skills. Again, subscribe to Wookiee Leaks wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back, guys!
Hey.
Yay!
Yes. Welcome back, family.
We've all been really into The Watchmen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
On HBO. Spoiler warning if you're not caught up on the show, of course, because we are going to talk about predictions,
talk
and
about
if
it.
any of them happen to be true, then we will have ruined your life.
Right.
The last 2 episodes have explained several of the big mysteries the show has had dangling over the season, but one big one remains. Yeah. What is the Millennium Clock, and what is Lady True's plan to use it? And I expect answers based on science. I expect answers based on what was the thing that you holograms?
Holograms, yeah.
Music.
Yeah, and music. And I expect one of the answers to be sung.
I'm not singing mine, so I'll get mine out of the way first. Although I will relate
You're
to
only
music.
going to get one Rogie if you go first.
Them's the rules.
The Millennium Clock is actually the Willennium Clock,
Oh.
and it's for Will Reeves,
I thought
Hooded,
you were gonna
Hooded Justice.
start singing Big Willie style.
Yeah, Big Hooded style. No, I think what the Millennium Clock is, and this would be the most sort of I don't know, easy answer, but
Yeah,
I'm going
it's
there
okay.
anyway. Is that it is a time machine of some kind.
Great.
I think it links into a lot of the stuff from the books themselves. Everything is concerned with watches and time, the way that Dr. Manhattan experiences time. But I think
Which is annoying.
it is a little annoying.
So, do you think that somebody's going to go back to the events of the
Yeah.
graphic novel?
So much of this series has been based in like generational trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And I think there is a way, whether Lady True wants to go back to say her origins or her mother's pains and like write those, whether it's based in Tulsa because they want to go back and right the wrongs of Tulsa, the Black Wall Street massacre, or even if it's just to go back to, undo what Vate did in
Yeah.
85.
Yeah.
Is it 85? It is 85.
Or
Yeah.
86, maybe?
86?
Yeah.
1984.
Yeah.
It's 84. You guys are all dumb.
Go back to 1984, watch Wonder Woman 84,
Yeah.
and then, undo what Vate did with the squid monster in
Yeah.
Times Square. I do think that, though obvious, seems
But
like
it needs to be
that's,
said, yeah.
If they undo the squid monster, though, then who's going to stop the nuclear apocalypse?
Maybe they let it happen.
No.
Maybe like we're in some alternate timeline where it's like, this is even worse. And then the nuclear apocalypse is
Whoa.
actually not that bad.
Whoa.
Just a couple
I will
scrap
say,
cities
to
get hit.
get super
Whoa.
rogue, there is an offhand comment in one of the episodes where they say the Russians are developing an intrinsic field generator. What if the Russians had a Dr. Manhattan? And one of my favorite science fiction movies is Colossus the Forbin Project, where America and Russia both have these supercomputers that take
Yeah.
control of all the nuclear arsenals. And they agree with each other. They essentially start talking to each other and say, hey, we're not going to start a nuclear war because we know what's best for you guys. But now you guys have to do what we say.
Awesome.
Wow, like the
Dark.
benevolent Skynet, sort of.
Benevolent Skynet. But I think no one wants to be ruled by machines.
Skynet.
Some of us.
But what if they
sounds
know what's
hard.
best for you?
I sang it. Benevolent Skynet.
I'd live in that reality. Man, if machines just want to take over everything right now, it would save me so much stress. Just take me. Plug me into your Matrix farm.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh my
God
Eric's
damn
having
it.
a day, you guys.
I hate free will.
Eric's having a day. That was great. That's a very good theory.
You're like,
Where'd you do? Oh, it's hanging over.
Give him
there.
a silver.
It got slapped out of my hand.
Bring it back. I won't slap it out of your hand.
Okay.
And I will give you 1.25 Rogies this time.
Wow.
Because,
1.25.
because I don't want anyone to be embarrassed to say the theories that seem obvious because sometimes they need to be said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
You
put
know?
it out there, and
No
then
shame.
we get to different places.
And
Well-
sometimes it's obvious, but not for obvious reasons.
That's right.
Hang on a second. If you want an obvious theory,
Oh.
if you want an obvious theory, Lady True told us what the Millennium Clock does.
Wait,
Okay.
what? When?
Yeah.
Who?
It tells time.
So
Give me
it's just
that-
a clock.
She was No. Give me that quarter.
Elaborate, please.
We may have missed it, but I did give you a quarter Rogie for singing, but I
Yeah.
took it back for that joke.
Freaking fine, whatever. No, like she was directly asked, "What does it do?" And she
Okay.
says, "It tells time."
time.
And I'm gonna want that
You're gonna
back
earn it back.
because honestly, I think that's what it does. you were talking about the symbolism that clocks had in the initial series, and I think that there are two big things that clocks are symbolic of.
Mm-hmm.
One would be the impending apocalypse, the nearness to midnight.
A countdown. Yes.
Right, exactly. Tick tock, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
The other one would be determinism. This idea that we live in a universe run by a watchmaker god. You know?
Master clockmaker idea. Yeah.
Everything is precisely refined such that if you have a complete understanding of the workings of a watch, you can know where that watch is going to be 100, 1,000 years into the future. A millennium, perhaps?
A millennium, hopefully.
A will I am?
Not hopefully.
And so I think that Lady True is where she is today, in part because of information from the future that she got from Dr. Manhattan through Will Reeves.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
She knows exactly when that whatever it is going to hit that person's or that couple's farmhouse, and that's why she has to buy it right before it hits. And she says you've got 3 minutes to decide. She knows precisely when that's going to strike. She knows what she has needed to do to get to this position. I think that she knew when to buy Adrian Veidt's company because she knew that he had been transported to Europa.
Yeah.
And I think that she understands the value of seeing the future. And so she's creating the Millennium Clock to tell time, and not just tell time, but see forward through time.
To what end, though?
To what end? And that is the question. And
for the betterment of humanity, because originally, like, if you can compare the two big things, like whether it's the squid and the Millennium Clock, are sort of the two things that are going off in the book and the series. One was a bad thing that was supposed to save humanity.
Yeah.
This thing seems benign.
Yeah.
But what does it do?
She does seem to want to save humanity. She says she's got a plan to save humanity. It starts here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do have an idea of like what I think the final shot would be.
Oh, great.
If that is her goal.
Yeah.
And what I really want it to be is Will Reeves asking her, so was it worth it all in the end?
Yeah.
And her saying nothing ever ends. I think that would
like
be
Mary and
cool.
Ozymandias. And,
But it's child Will Reeves.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little boy.
Yeah.
It's baby Yoda.
It's baby. I'm going to trade. I took away your quarter Rogie, but I'm going to give you a full Rogie
All right.
instead. So there you go.
Thank you.
Eric?
Okay, so I put a lot of thought into this. I think Watchmen, the series.
I put a lot of thought into this, not like you
No,
I put very little thought
too much
into
thought
it.
into it. I think it's all about eggs. And every time I say everything at New Rockstars should be egg-based, Philip rolls his eyes because we hunt Easter eggs. Everything, Baby Yoda is in an egg shell when we find him. I think Watchmen has had this running sub-concept, this sub-theme of fertility, of bloodlines, of genetics and eugenics.
Yeah.
So like in the opening pilot, you see like she's making omelets. She's making like an egg-based dish. Will Reeves eats eggs out of the boiling pot. Dr. Manhattan with her husband, she slaps the eggs out of his hand.
He drinks a beer with an egg in it.
He drinks a beer with an egg. Lady True presents the egg to them, and she gives them the opportunity for fertility in order to take their farm.
And it's an egg. They have eggs that's what they sell.
Yeah, they're egg
Oh, yeah,
sellers. Yeah,
that's
they're
right.
egg farmers. So, what is Lady True's whole master plan? What is her plan to save humanity? I think the clock, that Millennium Clock, is connected to biological clocks and women's biological clocks. I think her master plan is to make every white woman on the planet and every white man on the planet infertile. So that their races die out in order to truly correct historical wrongs in her mind. It's a radical notion. It's just in the type of mindset that Adrian Veidt would have. Like, let's do something radical and then truly give people of color a chance to have children, to retake the earth.
It would definitely put her directly in opposition to the 7th Cavalry.
Directly,
100%,
because their whole plan is to like reclaim white dominance, in their eyes. So how do you maybe you don't kill all them, but you kill their chances of having a future.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little too hard to be a white man in America, according to
Senator Keene
Joe
would be
Keene.
would be
Good
proven
God.
right in that case.
Yeah.
But you can imagine that's her plan, and like it ties in with her like giving this white couple a chance to have a white baby. Like in her mind, she's like, all right, this will be the last white baby. That's
Oh my my
Wow.
God.
That's great, and that's also that's great. I say we wipe out. No, I'm kidding, but also
All in favor, say yay.
Yay!
We could call it Honky-geddon.
They're allowed to say that. We're not.
You're not. See, you're not allowed to say it.
Yeah. But I like that because this series of Watchmen is based on a historical wrong that is completely left out of our history books. I didn't learn about it until college, maybe, I think, which is the Black Wall Street Massacre in Tulsa. And this actually overlaps with real life atrocities where there was mass sterilization of Native American women in the United States. And there was in the 70s I want to say it went into the 80s too, of Mexican American women who would go to the doctor for either pregnancy or just a regular, like some other procedure, and they would be sterilized without their consent. And it happened, like, it was a definite thing that happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if they started off this series in like, this stuff is real, it has been done, and we're going to address it head on. And I would not be surprised if they were like, you know what, this has been done to Native American women and specifically Mexican American women. Like, let's turn the tables. Let's
it's something that like Hitler's Third Reich wanted to do. And you could argue there is a form of like systemic racism in this country when black women who are pregnant go to the doctor.
Higher mortality rate.
It's like 4 times as likely to lose their kid.
That's wild.
And it's like maybe doctors aren't actively thinking about it, but they are less likely to care about the future of black children in this country than they are about white children. So
subconscious bias.
Yeah, and this is definitely something that Damon Lindelof, we're not imbuing this. This is like fertility has been core to his work in Lost. Like there was that whole subplot when you're on the island,
if you have
suddenly
a kid,
you can people who are infertile can have kids on the island, and in The Leftovers, her character was pregnant and then she loses the baby gets raptured, and that was like a whole huge thing that happened in the series. So clearly I think that is core to Damon Lindelof's interests.
And he's been pretty overt about it. And I mean everything he said that like nothing is he's not trying to hide anything. So like whatever's on the show is going to happen.
Yep.
Eggs are everywhere.
Eggs are everywhere.
Wait, so you had your like this is how the show ends, the series ends.
Yeah. Season.
That's the word I'm looking for. What do you guys? Did you guys say that like this is how this season ends?
Do you have a final shot?
It's really dark, but like montages of white women in fertility clinics screaming and crying. Cut to like 30 years in the future, and there's like it's like Children of Men for white people.
That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Final shot. Maybe a little cliched, but the end is the beginning is the end. We go back to Tulsa, 1921.
Wow.
Her time machine has transported Dr. Manhattan in current form to Tulsa, and he stops the massacre.
Oh,
and that alters history in some irreparable way.
Or he doesn't stop the massacre, but he does save Will Reeves.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one who saves him or he's his dad or whatever.
Like the car that Will Reeves was in got like blown up and everybody died.
He survived it, but you're saying like
he's the one who made sure he survived.
This is already the timeline where he gets sent back in time. Yeah,
it's a loop.
Dr. Manhattan is the one who pulls the Mandalorian out of the out of the
now we're talking
hiding place. Yeah, okay, great. Guys, give me a recap of the scores so far because it's about to be time for Rogue Questions.
Oh, snap.
I have 2 1/4.
Yep. 2.25.
I'm in the 3 Rogie Club over here.
And me too. Cheers, my friend. Cheers.
But there's always time for me to catch up, right?
There really are. Guys, these are Rogue Questions. You don't know what they are at all, and neither do I actually. And I'm going to tell you the rules for when I'm hosting. Whoever really has the funniest answer is honestly what's in trouble.
This is Quiplash also.
It doesn't have to be like clever or funny, just to make me laugh, and I love stuff that's real dumb.
Can I just make funny faces?
Yeah, honestly, or like if you fall down, like that. My bar is very low. Great. Rogue question number 1: a photo went viral.
It went viral.
A photo went viral. It actually is about Baby Yoda. A photo went viral of a guy's tattoo of Baby Yoda drinking a White Claw. Okay, I'll say it for real. A photo went viral of a guy's tattoo of Baby Yoda drinking a White Claw, which is insane. How could the tattoo have been even more 2019?
I want to see the tattoo of the person who gave Baby Yoda the White Claw getting arrested because that baby is underage. He's 50, but not in Yoda years.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, how could it be more 2019? I would say if the person giving Baby Yoda the White Claw, I don't know, I'm sticking with that same that same
No,
theme,
we're in this world.
Is Kanye and his silver pewter
that's
spray paint.
We're all just looking for the man behind the curtain right now.
Yeah.
I think to make it more 2019, you'd have, in addition to Baby Yoda on the tattoo, you'd have Greta Grunberg looking at Baby Yoda and going, "Okay, boomer."
Oh my God, he's a boomer.
That's great. Eric, you get a quarter.
He would be a boomer.
Yeah.
You get a full one.
Whoa, how'd that happen?
Who knows? Great. Number 2, Mad Max Fury Road director George Miller defended superhero films as cinema. What superhero franchise would we love to see George Miller direct?
Squirrel Girl.
Great. Next.
That was hard to say.
I'd love to
Squall
see
go well.
George Miller take over the post-apocalyptic, like Batman v Superman nightmare future that was gonna happen. Just because what he did with Mad Max is great, and I want to see that in the Batman world.
Oh, that's great.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. Neither of you are making me laugh.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Archie. No.
Riverdale.
Yeah, he's gonna do Riverdale on the big screen finally, and it'll just be malt shops in the post-apocalyptic world. That's
Great.
it. That's all I got.
Don't give any of us.
No,
really.
I was
I don't think
harsh.
I
I was
deserve-
harsh.
Just give yourself one.
I'll give myself one. No, it's okay. I'll give you one because right after I said none of you are making me laugh, I felt real bad about it. So that's a guilt
To be
rogie
fair,
right there.
None of us did make you laugh.
Well, you guys are doing great. Okay, number question 3, guys.
Okay.
It came out this week that part of the reason Sony and Marvel were able to strike a deal over
Spider-Man?
over Superman.
Whoa, that's a real twist.
Breaking news on New Rockstars.
No one's gonna say a comment about that in the comments at all ever. No one's gonna say
You can
anything.
just restart it.
Nope. Over Spider-Man was that Tom Holland made a drunken phone call to Bob Iger. I didn't know that. That's funny. Give me your best drunk Tom Holland impression.
Oh, good.
Now this will make me
Okay.
laugh, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, I just want to play Spider-Man so bad. It's just before this, all I had was Billy Elliot, and now it's the best thing I've ever gonna do.
I just want to dance ballet.
Ballet.
I just want to dance in the ballet.
Hey, man. Let me be back in the Spider-Man movie, please. With the Tony Stark.
God.
That was funny.
That's how he sounds.
That was funny.
Yes.
Leo, no.
It was too real. It was
For real, yeah.
Should have gone last.
I lost.
It wasn't drunk. It wasn't drunk.
Oh
enough.
wait, they were
I
supposed to be
wasn't drunk,
drunk.
you're right.
Yeah.
I was
Tom
not drunk
Holland
at
is
all.
drunk. He sounds Jamaican.
What's Tom Holland's favorite alcoholic drink?
Ooh.
White Claw.
Yeah, there you go.
It's him holding Baby Yoda drinking a White Claw.
Yeah. Baby Yoda in a cup.
Yeah.
That's great. Guys,
it?
recap me your points.
Oh, shoot.
What's the score?
I have 3 1/4. 3.25.
3.25.
I'm in the 4 1/4 club over
Wow.
here.
And I'm in 4 1/4
Oh,
club.
shit.
Cheers.
Okay, the tiebreaker is what is Tom Holland's favorite alcoholic drink? The better answer wins.
Red Stripe beer.
All right. Okay.
Oh Jesus.
Do you even want to play?
No, I don't. I can't beat that. That's
No, you can't
impossible.
be Red Stripe.
All right, Eric wins. Yay!
Oh God.
Eric, you wish this for yourself.
Yeah.
Eric's wish is that Eric gets to sing his Baby Yoda lullaby.
Okay.
Oh. You have a Baby Yoda lullaby?
Sure.
You wrote
Baby Yoda with your cute big black eyes and your soft baby cries. You were singing me dead, but it's all coming back to Mando.
Yeah.
The first 2 parts of the verse done. The third,
Yeah.
not so
Oh,
much.
that's great. Guys, that's it for this episode of Rogue Theory. Thanks for watching New Rockstars. Thanks for watching Rogue Theory. Guys, Leo Garcia, where can we find you on the internet?
IndieWire.com. I have a podcast there called Millions of Screens. We talk about TV. We actually are going to be interviewing Damon Lindelof
Ooh.
next week.
Wow.
If you want to listen in and see what he was thinking while he was making the finale.
Yeah, exactly. Danny Prikazsky, where can we find you? you?
You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Danny Prikazsky. That's me for all the social media stuff.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Fun. Erik?
You can find me at Erik Voss on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll be having some fun videos coming out this weekend. We're finishing up our Star Wars rewatch series.
Yeah,
We'll have
that's
Attack of
right.
the Clones coming out on Sunday, and then Revenge of the Sith coming out on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And then next week it's all Star Wars stuff, baby.
Oh, yeah. And I'm Marina Mastros. Find me on lines at Marina Mastros. And I'm also Philip Molina. I'm currently on a camping trip with my son,
How's it
Tommy
going?
Bechtel. Right now we're roasting marshmallows
Oh,
because I
nice.
experience time
Wow.
differently than you guys.
Oh.
yeah.
And I'm
Dr.
also-
Molina.
Yeah, Dr. Molina. I'm also Erik Voss because I have this great jacket.
Mhm.
Bye!
Bye.